He's boxing out of the red corner, wearing the black and drink trunks with the red lettering and weighing in at 166 pounds. With a fine pro career, 25 wins, 4 defeats, 10 of those 25 wins coming by knockout. From Gladstone, Missouri, he's Heath the Heathen Todd. And his opponent, boxing out of the blue corner. This young man really needs no introduction to worldwide knowledgeable boxing fans. Wearing a lavender trunks with a gold trim and weighing in at a fit, fighting and ready 167 pounds. With an unbelievable pro career, 93 wins, 10 defeats, 64 of those wins coming by knockout. 4-time world champion from Panama City, Panama, El Hijo de la República de Panama, Panama's favorite son, Roberto Manos de Piedra, Hands of Stone, Duran. 10 rounds of boxing in the supermate division. Your referee for the main event, Elmo Adolf.
Well, there you've got it then. Roberto Duran looking terribly out of shape at super middleweight, but his opponent Heath Todd, I'm afraid, is actually made for Duran. He just rumbles forward. He's not a dangerous puncher. He's fairly durable, so he should be there for a fair time. And lots of Duran's opponents of late have been hand-picked. They don't want this old chap to wear himself out too quickly, but he's a very smart operator still, 43 years of age. And for those of you that might be new to Roberto Duran, it's worth mentioning very briefly his career highlights as this round gets underway. He turned pro back in 1967. And he won the lightweight title of the world by stopping Ken Buchanan with an illegal low shot. That was in 1972, Madison Square Garden, New York. And he actually dominated the lightweight division at the time for 5.5 years. He beat Sugar Ray Leonard for the welterweight title in 1980. And then he destroyed Davey Moore for the WBA light middleweight crown in 1983. And that was a lovely birthday present. Duran was 32 on the same day. And then, of course, he beat Iran Barkley for the middleweight crown. That was in 1989, of course. But there's been a few lowlights as well, I'm afraid, for Roberto Duran, known as Hands of Stone. His first loss was in a non-title 10-rounder to Esteban de Jesus, who went on to become the WBC lightweight champion. And Duran beat him twice subsequently. And his second loss was the infamous no-mass, where he quit in 8 rounds against Sugar Ray Leonard in the rematch. He was dropped 3 times and knocked out in 2 with a tremendous right hand by Tommy Hearns, you may remember. And that was a vacant WBC light middleweight title challenge. And that's a untidy stumble by Duran. And in Duran's early days, not a lot of people know this, he was a shoeshine boy in steamy rundown fight clubs in Panama. And he turned pro at the age of 15. Had 17 fights in those seedy little places in Panama before he went to Mexico. Still a very crafty individual. And he'll need to be ready to get to grips with this rather ungainly Heath Todd, who, whilst having a pretty decent record, is not a world-class fighter by any means. And these days, a rather more mellowed Roberto Duran just kind of walks down opponents rather than viciously cutting them off the way he used to. Very untidy. Couple of highlights really on the record of Todd. stoppage in 7 rounds over Shannon Landberg in 92. 8th round win over Buck Smith. And he's fought the same man in his last 3 fights. He's won twice and a technical draw on the other occasion. So Todd out to make a name for himself. Of course, the last name we saw Duran face was Vinny Pazienza. And he lost on points over 12 rounds for the IBO title in a very, very close one to call. And Duran, a lot of people felt that Roberto won that one. You might remember his only other loss prior to that, before his championship fights, was when he quit in 6 against Pat Lawler, claimed an arm injury in that fight, but was completely out of sorts that night. Lawler, just a journeyman club fighter, stayed in there, got the win. Of course, the last title fight for Roberto was in 1989 against Ray Leonard. And he lost every round, I thought, in the 12-rounder for the WBC title. Good body shot there from Roberto. Still thrilling crowds all over the place. 27 years he's been a professional now. That's a long, long time. Of course, Heath Todd's only been a pro for a couple of years. Takes it right there. And was he's going to get a bit bad-tempered. That's a foolish thing, really, for Todd to have done. Against anyone else, you don't mind, but not against this man. Who's really doing Todd a favour, getting him a good payday. Sometimes, though, money just isn't enough. Still a very crafty individual, Duran. When Roberto puffing and blowing, I wouldn't expect him to spend 1995 in a boxing ring. I expect to hear his retirement quite shortly. Good right there from Duran. And that was a vicious punch by Roberto Duran. And that was thrown with real bad intentions. Duran self-managed. And in that corner, just tell you who's in the Duran corner. No, I won't. The names are too complicated for me to get my European tongue round, I'm afraid. So round 3 then. This one, of course, scheduled for 10. Scrappy first round. Duran clearly won the second. And there looks to be a whole lot of weight between these two. Although officially at the weigh-in, Duran was a pound heavier at 167, which is only a pound away from the super middleweight limit. And when you're only 5 feet 7.5 and built to fight at 135 pounds, it looks a bit ungainly. So Todd, the Heathen, as he's known. Heath Todd, good right again there from Duran. Duran, born in Guare in Panama, of course lives in Panama City. And financially he's been a victim of the oppressive regime that reigned in Panama for all those years. And when he was out of favour with the authorities, they taxed him very heavily. Oh, and Todd there missed with every one of those. Duran's still a very cagey man. Of course, who can forget that tremendous 10-rounder he had with Carlos Palomino, former welterweight champion. What a fight that was back in 1979. A non-title 10-rounder between Duran and Palomino. If only they'd have realised now what we all know. That close points loss to Wilfredo Benitez and Kirkland Lang back-to-back. Before he came back and destroyed Pepino Cuevas in 4. That 15-round points loss against Marvin Hagler. Been with some great men, fought some great fights. And Heath Todd possibly getting a bit too ambitious for his own good here. There's no finesse about this man at all. And getting thumped all over the place. Another round for Duran. Welcome back there, a bit of replay here, good right hand by Duran. And Duran's still got a number 16 ranking in the middleweights by the Independent World Boxing Rankings. Heath Todd, not there, I'm afraid. Not that you'd expect him to be. Round 4 then, and Duran has won the first 3. Well, probably nothing in the first round because it was so scrappy. But now Duran really starting to put some power in those punches. And Duran never boxed as an amateur, by the way. Well, Todd smiling, but not a great deal to smile about. Duran's out to hurt him. And of course, he's not just satisfied with beating men, Duran. He wants to really destroy them. And when he fought Vinny Pazienza, I remember one of those comments, Pazienza was having a go at him, and he had to go back, and Pazienza's father started getting involved in the fracas, and Duran said, I'll go and get my dad, and he can beat you up while I beat Vinny up. Or words to that effect. Halfway through the 4th then. And that's nice left-hand work from Duran. And of course, those of you who saw our over 40s feature on a recent primetime special will know that it's not an unusual feat for men to box beyond the age of 40. Very successfully too. Think of Archie Moore, George Foreman, Sugar Ray Robinson, to name just 3. So 30 seconds to go then in round 4. And Duran getting a bit cross with himself here. He's landed some very lusty punches, but Todd is still there. And he doesn't like that, because when he wants to get rid of someone, he really does. And of course, he was a ferocious puncher as a lightweight. Not too bad as a welter. Never campaigned as a light welter, by the way. Well, it's another good round for Duran. Puffing and blowing. Taking a bit of risk here. Wasting so much energy against a man like Todd, who has to say, he's got a reputation for his durability. Round 5 of this 10. catch-weight contest. Middle comes super middle. And Todd looking a bit bashed up around the face. Nice left hand from Duran, and again. And that was a terribly clubbing punch that he used to land when he was a lightweight. And I tell you something, there's 12 stone behind it now. And Todd has got a very thick head, or is a very brave man to take these solid jabs to the face. They're as good as your average right-hander. And of course, the last thing you lose when you get old is your strength, like an old chimpanzee. That's good boxing now by Duran. Takes it right though. And since the the Pat Lawler loss, Duran won 7 before that loss against Vinny Pazienza last time. Looks like he's picked the right opponent to get back on the winning trend against here. But as I say, I just wonder how much longer he's going to carry on. And Heath Todd now looking a bit of a mess on the left-hand side of his face. And this is still nice left-hand work from Roberto Duran. Oh, that's good stuff. And Duran must be wondering what Todd is made of. Was that one low? The crowd booing. And there's a cup coming the ring. Someone's thrown a cup into the ring. Last few seconds then of round 5. But I don't quite know what they're getting bad-tempered about. There's obviously something happening that we're not aware of. Crunch. And that went straight down to his boots, and he just shrugged it off. So round 6 then, this is the halfway stage of this 10-round middleweight, come super middleweight contest. And of course, Todd is from the state of Missouri. And he's obviously got someone here who's not enjoying seeing Duran bash him up. Elmo Adolf working hard to separate them. Keep your head up, Todd. Boom against the body, then to the head. And Todd there once again, complaining of a low punch. Well, that just goes to show how keen Duran is to get rid of this man. Anything will do. And he's got that look on his face, hasn't he? And we don't often see Duran forced to fight at this level. There's been some lovely boxing in between. And probably Duran not given the credit for his pure boxing ability in the past. and still finding this man very hard to nail with a clean takeout shot. Oh, good shot there. Huge right hand from Duran, and Todd just hangs on to him. Unbelievable. What a punch that was. That would have knocked your average elephant out. Oh, there's a cut. Todd's left eye has gone, I think. Well, he got a bit of a tanking there, Heath Todd. Duran clearly won that round and one huge right hand from him just near the end. What a punch that was. And Todd stood up to it. Incredible. And they have to work on this man now. Doctor having a look at the cut.
He's already, look, that's
Come on, dog, don't stop.
I think they're going to stop it. Oh, what a shame. Well, a bit of ambivalence, I would suggest, in that Heath Todd corner. Almost inviting the doctor to stop the fight because of the cut, and then complaining as soon as he did.
Upon the advice of the ringside physician, referee Elmo Adolph stops the bout on a technical knockout at the end of the 6th round. The winner by TKO, ready for one more shot at a coveted 5th world title. Put your hands together for El Hijo de la República de Panama, the son of Panama, and he is Roberto Duran.
Oh, well, we've got more boxing for you Thursday. Stick around for that.